the way I read this is they cannot make money anymore right now. And why? They call it deterioration of operating conditions. No, motherfucker, you just need to abide by the law, and you just need to have a decent administration, and you need to keep your users' funds in wallets where they are theirs. You cannot speculate with other people's money. And if you do, and you mess up, you're going to get an investigation on your ass, and that will seize your operations. So just, that's one. Ladies and gentlemen, Quamrats, welcome to episode 12 of the Quamfy Show. Full show today. There are updates from the Quant developer Twitter, and that means that Overledger had some updates. We're going to have a brief look into that. Hotbit failed. They're shutting their doors, and we're going to let loose some analysis on what could be the catalyst to this. Same goes for a Dutch exchange, Litebit. They also shut their doors. Gilbert is featured on another YouTube channel, and it's about stablecoins this time. So that's going to be interesting. Samsung introducing their new Knox matrix to be released in 2024. Could that be Overledger on the chip? We're going to have a look at that. Then there is Gilbert saving Polkadot, more or less. The competition part is real in the crypto sphere. And then there is Raoul Pal, the global macro investor. He has some pretty bold predictions into where this place is going. Looking really good. And of course, in between, we have a look at the quant price action. Because it's decent. It's decent. Oh, yeah. And there is this thing with the Coinbase custody wallets, some developments there. Tokenicer did some research. So we're trying to keep this under an hour and a half. See how it goes. Tim, how's life, brother?
I'm here. Well, Quamfy as always. Yeah, well, you almost forget I was here. Well, Quamfy as always, I guess. Just another 2 weeks passed. Did a lot of fun stuff. Watched a lot of football. And we were dealing with a playoff period now, so like the teams are now fighting to either make their promotion to the highest league or get their way into Europe. So there's a lot of nice football to watch. I'm in the stadium quite a bit. That also cost me my voice last weekend. And hopefully it didn't cost me my throat because I'm having this itchy throat once again. I was just discussing it with Jarno. Apparently he also has some pain there. And well, outside of that, everything is great, I guess. I just saw my portfolio pump a little bit past couple of days. That's always nice. We are recovering slightly. That's good. And well, outside of that, Quamfy as always, as I just said. Don't really have anything to mention. It's just I'm doing a lot of fun stuff in my personal life, my leisure time, and well, my work isn't too stressful. Just have these busy days every now and then, but it doesn't really cost me a lot of stress. I'm not aging as fast as I did on my previous assignment. So that's great. Yeah, that is really beneficial, honestly. Outside of that, yeah, what can I say? Just as always, you know, we are talking every week and week on week. Things don't change that much. Just doing a lot of fun stuff these days, enjoying the nice weather. Today it's not that good, but it could get better later this week. We'll see. And it's just that small talk, you know.
Yeah, we just spoke of that, how we're getting a little bit numb when it comes to like all the interesting crypto news. And I'm doing well, by the way. Weather is nice and keeping busy doing things I like generally, which is good. And keeping up with Quant more. I'm back in the Quamfy lounge even. I felt the Quamfy is bubbling, so needed to throw a ton of gifts in there.
I feel it as well. And before we go into the rest of the show, let's just consider this introduction. But it's so interesting how we change emotions so quickly. Like if you, during our last episode, like 2 weeks ago, what was it? Like the 16th, 15th of May, something like that. We were bearish, man. People were looking into the 60s or 50s or even 40. And
the royal we, right? Not us.
No, obviously, the royal we on Telegram and Twitter and Discord and what have you not. And now the royal we is looking into the 10K area again. Because some Ishimoku or Japanese dog kind of cloud apparently is bullish, and there is some good news in Hong Kong, and I don't know what's going on, but suddenly we are bullish again. I don't even know what happens. It's just a change of direction, and suddenly everyone is bullish. And yeah, you get pretty numb. I don't really. I obviously care because it feels nice. But I just don't get the sentiment always, right? We are always here. We are always equally bullish. Obviously not price-wise, but FA-wise, nothing changed in the meantime. And so it's really
not entirely true, is it? It's not entirely true, right?
True. Now, I mean, the FA changes every now and then. But it's just like we are getting new insights, right? But
no, but that's the whole point. And you should actually timestamp this because this is pretty good. Because we were talking about being numb, right? In Dutch, it's called afgestompt.
Yeah.
It's like when interesting things happen, it just doesn't phase one anymore, right? Numb kind of explains it. And we decided back in 2020 and 2021 that this will be the thing of this decade. Yeah, the interoperability, quant, and that this is essential.
Yeah.
For everything to come to fruition, and
we did,
and to make us wealthy as hell, right? I mean, we decided that this is enough, and we looked at the FA, we looked at what Gilbert did, all the things that you know from us, and we decided, okay, so this is the truth, right? And part of that truth is Quant is working with the Bank for International Settlement, and that's it. And Quant will be involved in the digital euro, and the digital pound, and the digital dollar. And we always knew that on a certain plane. So when the confirmation then inevitably comes, well, inevitably sounds a little bit arrogant, but it's starting to. Then we're like, oh, yeah, told you so, moving on. And in a way that's understandable, right? But it's also a little bit odd because we get the confirmation from Gilbert being on stage with the CBDC head of the digital pound, and he's like, yeah, for the tech you need to ask Gilbert. And my heart was racing, not gonna lie, but it took about half a day, and then I moved on. But it's actually pretty massive.
And I to briefly interrupt you there, I must agree. I feel like that was kind of a moment of excitement for me as well. Like one of these rare instances where I felt like, hey, we didn't see this before, right? We kind of saw this before, but we never saw it in this way. So yeah, I got excited for a bit, and that rarely happens these days. So I agree with you. But then a week passed, and I already forgot it. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, but still, right? And there is a lot going on, and a lot of things get confirmed, get reconfirmed. A lot of stuff gets dug up again. Spoke about this earlier as well, Tim. That information, FA, that originated in 2018, 2019, 2020, Samsung being one of this, was already quote unquote decided as being fact. And right now, there's there's confirmation coming in, and us and let's say the other OGs that were even OG before us.
Yeah, we were.
They're like, yeah, we know, but it's pretty big fucking deal. And what the problem is still with, and there was a question in Lounge today, I think, and we spoke about this on the show plenty of times. All these things that are massive, quote unquote, massive confirmations, or just massive confirmations, are not read by most folk, right? It's on LinkedIn, it's on not Cointelegraph or whatever you want to call it, and you can show that to people, but it just misses the mark every single time. Why? Because of all the dependencies, right? Talking like a coder now, but there are so many things that need to be known and need to be established in somebody's brain before they can comprehend what it means to XYZ.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know ABC, you're not going to get to fucking XYZ. If I just tell you XYZ, you're like, XYZ, okay, that's really nice. But if you don't have the ABC and all the letters before that, it's not going to land. It's not going to hold. It's not going to resonate, if that makes sense. And that's just logical and a shame at the same time. By the way, AWS, and we'll see that in Luke Riley's thing. Luke Riley wrote in an article that they're still AWS partner. They're still AWS partner.
Yeah, are we gonna look into that or
later?
Oh, later. Okay. No,
but it was to underscore my point, right? That things, even though they seemingly changed because we haven't heard of them, doesn't mean they have. And then Luke confirming that since they are a partner,
it's just our perception that is kind of changing as we move through time, right? Yeah. So like that's what I said. Like the FA itself has always been there. It's just the amount of information that we are being fed, well, that increases.
Or but if you don't fat.
We're gonna end up fat anyways because I'm getting that we're going a bit off topic here. I felt fat today, honestly. I felt like a fatty. Anyway, so basically, Jarno would blame it on my diet, and we're really going off top. Okay.
Some eggs, bro.
No. It's yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, it even goes for me, right? So, I mean, I am all kind of on top of things when it gets to quant, and even I do not always understand the implications of the stuff I read every day in Control and what have you not. And well, if that applies to me, then I can safely say that it will extrapolate to kind of everyone else in crypto. We don't understand. We are doing something that is so, well, innovative and well, never heard of, and pioneering that nobody understands what's going on here. And why would you expect people to do so? And that is our problem. And that I thought of that today, right, with our price action. I'm just thinking out loud here because this morning I felt more clear than I do now. But like, we are not dumping as hard as we should sometimes, you know, because, well, you have all these people having faith in the project because they know what's going on. But at the same time, as long as there's no change of perception, we are not necessarily pumping as well because people don't understand. So you get this situation where people do not really sell their holdings. You have people holding, well, significant amounts of QNT. Like if you look at the average quant holder, they have a lot compared to other cryptos. But as long as other people do not necessarily understand what's going on here, we're not necessarily moving upwards. And only we have these breakthrough moments when people start understanding, well, bits of the story, then you will see the moments where people actually start like accumulating QNT for a bit. And that's happening right now. I think BitBoy, or at least some BitBoy content creator or whatever, I don't really care, posted something somewhere on social media. I think that kind of spurred a moment of interest from the wider crypto community. But when people lose interest, they will...
Bitcoin and ETH were pumping as well.
What?
I mean, Bitcoin and ETH both pumped, right? 3.5%, 4%.
Oh, okay.
When it started. So, and with their market caps, that's a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
3.5% of 1K.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, right? I don't know. I'm not following the market. That's exactly.
I think that could very well also have been part of.
But I think that is kind of the psychology that is underlying us, right? So you have all these people who are not necessarily selling, but a lot of crypto bros, they are, well, trying to accumulate as much quant as they can, and they will move into the next meme coin. And so as soon as our perception fades away again, then they will move somewhere else. But the diehard believers will always keep their stack. I think that's what we're seeing in the market. I'm not sure if we could have all kinds of explanations, but that at least is how I see it. I'm not sure how you think about this. Just my take. I think we have seen this many times in the past years, and we are just moving through it again. But at some point, we will break out of this speculation stage, right? So we have all the perception, we know, and the believers know, and they will not let go of their QNT. But at some point, we will actually get an FA bomb that is verifiably true, and it's not only based on speculation anymore. And that is when you will see the real run towards what have you not, because people start believing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always been there. That's what I think, at least. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's so specific, right? So Specialisties.
Yeah.
For the English word. You really have to be in it to understand it.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, you need to be in this niche. You need to understand what's going on here.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend to understand half of a lot of people in Council, but like we said in the beginning, there are dependencies, right? And if you're not following along from the beginning, it just seems like a heap of loose sand.
Yeah.
And even when I look at my relatives, I share a lot of the things that I find really interesting and easy to comprehend, and it just doesn't touch base with them at all.
Oh.
It's just that's nice, honey. That's nice.
Keep on dreaming.
Why do I even bother? And I said this in the Dutch show as well, that people are close to me, like 2021. They believed stories, price predictions, connections, whatever. And this was last week. All the points that I brought up, when they asked, I didn't even bother anymore answering the questions, because simply their face is just, they ask a question, they get an answer and an explanation, and their face just cringes with disbelief because of the prices going down, right? And because that's what's going on. It's taken really long and price is dumping. So why do you keep dreaming? And when they ask for price prediction, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so I still believe this to be fair value. And then they just look at me like I'm some gambling addict going to the casino saying that I know for sure that when I put everything on zero, I'll win. And there's just, how do you say? I can't find the word.
No,
but it's
Yeah.
Contempt. No, not contempt. Oh, well, it's like this. Right. Sure,
I
honey.
think you're
Yeah.
delusional, I think.
Delusional. Yeah. Something like that. It's almost like pity, right? Like there's somebody that believes something so bad, so deeply, he is so sure that they don't even bother, that they're just afraid to smash my dreams or something like that. Oh well, fuck that shit. So yeah, it's sentiment changes,
but,
and depending on how much you know or you think you know, things become different. And Tim and I spoke about how we are kind of numb to the news. But we also noticed that other OGs are also more or less numb. But we also find it interesting to see that when the price goes up and everybody gets hyped a bit more, and we throw a bunch of gifts around and some nice memes and stuff. And then even the oldest of OGs start shit posting memes again on Twitter, which is good to see, which is nice.
We've just been through a lot as community, right? And it will only get worse as time progresses. But yeah, what I just find interesting is that some people of like this first wave, let's call them, we discussed this with Greg, right? The first, second wave, first, second, third wave of influencers, and like this first wave. So I'd say roughly speaking, the people who are, well, double the time. I need to talk in English. Like they've done double the time as we did in the community, right? So we are roughly 2, 3 years in. They are 4 to 5 years in. Let's put it that way. Like that first wave is as double the time as we did, and well, you just see them losing interest in the project, and that makes sense. They already made their 300x, 360 to 400x if you convert it to dollars. That makes a lot of sense. They've made a shit ton of money. But that doesn't change anything, right? So they just move on with their with their profits and go somewhere else. So some do not, right? There are still some people who are out there. Jarno is meanwhile fixing something in the background.
Yeah, there was a piece of zip tie just pricking in my leg, and was doing that for like weeks. And now I finally was so fed up with it that I grabbed the multi-tool.
Nice.
This show is not yet sponsored by Victorinox, but Victorinox, if you're watching, I know you are a Swiss company.
Yeah. Talking about first wave, it's sad to see some, well, old members of the community leave, but on the other hand, I think it's healthy as well. And
they didn't leave; they didn't leave. To check D.
Yeah, or some other projects.
Which is fine, right?
That will happen, and that's fine. But yeah, you will just see movements in the community, and also I think the amount of QNT that you need to be in the top 1,000 is dropping gradually. Slowly but gradually, it is dropping, and it will keep dropping over time. And people say that isn't true, but it is. Look at it. They
13, say, 19 right now.
Oh yeah, but it goes up every now and then. But it is dropping. It's just a glacier that we are following slowly. And this our pace is way too slow. We need to move on to some more serious stuff.
Yes, meat and potatoes.
Yeah. I just had to complain for a bit, guys. Come on. That's a fan.
All right. So what we see here is a tweet by Quant Developers. You can follow them at Quant Developers. Quant with capital, at Developers with capital D. And this is from May 26th. And this is reading the remainder of May's releases focused on maintenance and present no modifications to your APIs or user experience. And it reads Overledger release 2.2.30 and 2.2.31. And there are no significant changes there. because you can see here, this is a maintenance release. There are no new APIs, features, or modifications to the user experience in this version. And the same goes for number 30. So why is this interesting? This is interesting because apparently they forgot for a month to release the updates to us, right? To the public, to let us know.
This isn't the first time they did this.
No, I'm just assuming that they forgot. And to me, that's good news because that means either that it is not interesting, but interesting enough to keep us updated. So that means that we are important in a way, or they are just really fucking busy. And that's also good. And apparently they are so fucking busy, but not on this because there are no to us facing updates. So there's other interesting stuff that's going on. I don't know. This is all just speculation and everything is bullish.
I think with these updates, they have simply... I'm not sure. It's just like the last time. I feel like, oh yeah, we're looking at a terrible meme.
You're looking at the notorious BIS Augustine Carstens and it reads, Augustine Carstens on QNT, colon, quote, I've never seen anything like this, end quote.
Let's skip over this. Back to Overledger.
Yeah.
Overledger,
so the update.
2.31.
No thing
just
focused on us.
Yeah, just some small updates. We don't necessarily know what they did. They just said, well, we did some minor improvements, which is fine. Gets us up to date at least, and it's not too bad. We'll have to
4 more weeks.
We'll have to ask Boss what happened there, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But 4 more weeks, and then this quarter is done. And yeah,
that's true.
Could very well be interesting things ahead. Also, in other news, while we are on Twitter, NEXI made a press release. Prototyping test exercise shows it is possible to smoothly integrate the digital euro with existing European payment landscape. Guess who connects legacy infrastructure to distributed ledger technology? And that's obviously Quant. And NEXI, as you guys know, is like the stage 3 Super Saiyan version of SIA. SIA.net that integrated Overledger into their core infrastructure. Had some mergers and some acquisitions, and they are now NEXI Group. And NEXI Group is not just huge, it's humongous. Notorious BIS is just a dwarf in comparison. Even Swift is in Europe smaller than NEXI, which is really cool. And NEXI is one of the companies that is going to be involved in creating the digital euro, and by proxy, obviously, Overledger is used. So that is really cool. And we'll just like this and retweet this. You can find this on the Quamfy Show Twitter. If you're looking for it, it was posted by Nava Quamfy at Quamfy Navas, Navas. If you want to look them up. So yeah, Quant price 112. Woohoo! That was 8 hours ago. Anyway, we're moving on to.
Do we? I think. Yeah, we do move on, but yeah, with the digital euro, we're seeing progress. I think that Panetta guy from the European Central Bank also said something about it. So it's sweeping past. And I saw some news articles, at least on the Dutch news, on nu.nl, which means translates to now.nl, like a Dutch news website, where they are kind of, well, informing the general public about this digital euro. And I think people are slowly getting ready for what's going to happen, the inevitable.
It's always the same, man. It's always the same. We had the same with the euro. Yeah, the euro was the CBDC of the 1990s. Everybody was screaming bloody murder and no, and our sovereignty and all the leeches in Europe and yada yada yada. And I was fucking 16 in the year 2000 and 17 when the euro got introduced. It was 2001, right?
Yeah.
But even I got wind of the news of everybody crying and complaining. The Southern Europe countries, and there's always something. And in the end, they kind of got it right, but not really. And everybody just kind of moved on. Well, not everybody, but
yeah,
the vocal minority generally just accepts it eventually when it is inevitable. It is also a good practice in business when you have something really, really important that you need to get out there. Don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness, because people will give you shit if you ask for their opinion. But if you're at full speed ahead and you just implement stuff, they'll just go along with it. That's just who people are. And
but at least, well,
same's going to apply with CBDCs, and same is going to apply with digital money. I mean, it takes time, right? We spoke about e-money and how it was possible to pay with your phone in 2014 in the Netherlands already. And people, oh no, I'm not paying with Wi-Fi. No, retard, it's NFC. It's not the same. No, I'm not paying with Bluetooth either. Okay, that's not the same. People don't get it. People are scared. People don't understand. And they will not start using it until their neighbor uses it. And just that's how it is.
Yeah.
And until then, it's just dangerous.
Without entering the political once again on CBDCs like we do every single week, I just see this tendency of, well, people slowly getting interest in it and it moving from extremely negative to, oh, okay, we're getting a new technology. We're getting a new Wi-Fi standard. What does it mean to us? And then
it's gonna fry your brain.
And then it's suddenly, yeah, like 5G, where all the protesters now it's getting implemented. Yeah, and then it suddenly is implemented. Yeah, okay. So that's what I saw about that, and I think I saw some other news, but honestly, I don't. The usual, right?
Let's move on to Hotbit.
I think Panetta said though that he was aiming for 2027, 2026, something like that. He said like 3 to 4 years. So that would net us. Max. Yeah, so that would net us in 2027, which is soon, and that would be like 25 years after the Euro. We'll see where this plays out. But I think some other predictions said, well, I think it was a Bank of England. They said, or I don't know, guys. Please don't get me on this. But so some other parties saying, well, at least end of this decade, 2030. So we're getting this time. We're getting this window that they are slowly opening up. And
that's always what happens, right? They're putting down these deadlines like really far in the future, so people can get used to it and they have a feeling that they can have some influence and maybe steer or just have people acclimate. I don't know.
I mean that is true because we obviously still need the political process and stuff, but it will happen and it will be the second half of this decade. Might be a couple of years earlier, might be a couple of years later, but it's gonna happen between now and 2030. That's the thing. Okay. Globally. And NEXI is in it, and that is QNT, so that's good for us. Next topic.
Yeah. Okay, so what we have here is Hotbit, and Hotbit wrote an article, and it reads, "It's time to take a bow. Dear Hotbit users, for 5 years and 4 months, the Hotbit team has been proud to participate in a wonderful crypto show with 5 million users. However, it is with great regret that we have made the decision to stop all SEX operations from May 22nd, UTC 0400. We kindly ask all users to withdraw their remaining assets before June 21st, UTC 0400. And the decision is based on 3 reasons. So to keep it brief, at least this part, you're talking about the deterioration of operating conditions. They was forced to suspend operations for several weeks for an investigation. Secondly, the change in the crypto industry trend. Successive collapse of large centralized institutions has led the industry to gradually, in two ways, either embrace regulation or become more decentralized. And 3, since its beginning, Hotbit has been characterized by providing a rich variety of assets and value-added methods. Hotbit was the first exchange to list numerous emerging assets. Okay, so the way I read this is they cannot make money anymore right now. And why? They call it deterioration of operating conditions. No, motherfucker, you just need to abide by the law, and you just need to have a decent administration, and you need to keep your users' funds in wallets where they are theirs. You cannot speculate with other people's money. And if you do, and you mess up, you're going to get an investigation on your ass, and that will seize your operations. So just, that's one. So that's rules and regulations, as they state in a way. And then they talk about the collapse of large centralized institutions, embrace or decentralize. That's the same stick. It's the same stick. Yeah, you guys just need to make sure that you perform KYC and AML practices. And then the third, we were first to list every fucking shitcoin under the moon. We didn't care if you lose your money. We just wanted your fees. And that's to me the bottom line. And yes, I am biased against all these bullshit exchanges with their terrible reputation, fucking people over by just giving them access to every shitcoin that is not vetted, that has no known owner, or they have just bought it off. Because those exchanges, and Hotbit was notorious for this if I remember correctly, they just get paid a ton of tokens. They get paid a ton of listing fees. Binance is the same. Want to list your shitcoin? Pay us $1.5 million and give us 10% of the supply, and you're Gucci.
And that is the beauty of it, right? They all these exchanges, they eventually get what they always deserved. Like they are getting their karma. Like
but hold on, let me finish my rant, because what is going on is what you see now is kind of the same as what Litebit said, although Litebit was law-abiding and held a decent administration, etc. But with MiCA coming up, and in my opinion, and this is subjective, there's no evidence for this, with MiCA coming up, these type of exchanges lose Europe. There is no way in 2024 that you can operate a business that just posts every shitcoin, lists every shitcoin under the moon for exorbitant fees without doing any research, just to be first, and then rake in a ton of money from clients, us, users, as you like to call them, that have done no KYC, no AML, or very, very limited. Now you can trade as a NEXI. Also, now you can freely trade 5 BTC a day, which is crazy to me. And in Europe, in the future, it's going to be a problem. You cannot have all these individuals just doing their rogue trading, etc. I mean, you can think of that what you like politically, but that's just how it works, right? We pay taxes, and everybody needs to pay taxes. Also, we don't want to be funding criminal organizations, etc. So that's a thing. With MiCA coming up, if we want to create a TQS, the Quamfy Show token, we need to be a registered company, right? And that can be either that we are self-employed, which is also fine, that you have a VAT number, and you can then list the coin. But then you first have to issue a white paper, and you have to show that the token has utility. And all these things, all these new hoops are going to be introduced. And if you do not have a reputation like that, and you do not have your affairs in order, then you simply cannot list on a tier 1 exchange in Europe. Or if you list on a tier 1 exchange that gives access to people in Europe, people from Europe cannot buy because they need to abide by the law. And that means that if you create a TQS shitcoin with a gazillion tokens, and you're like, let's make them $1 each, and you throw them on Uniswap, and the volumes go through the roof because you manipulated that, the volumes go through the roof, and then Binance wants to list and everything wants to list, because that's how it goes. You cannot do that anymore. Yeah, you can, but you're missing out on Europe in its entirety. And Europe is quite a big market. So they're losing Europe. And I think that's the main catalyst for it. Because from 2024 onwards, you cannot create Elon Doge shitcoin and expect it to be listed on the tier 1. Sure, throw it on Uniswap. Throw it on PooCoin, on PancakeSwap. No one cares. But you'll never get the volume that you got in the past. Of course, Binance doesn't have to abide by that because Binance is in fucking God knows where, tax haven and no extradition treaties and all these things. Do not put your QNT there. I saw people posting that the yield is now 1.76% for a year. Do not put your tokens there. You'll get wrecked. It's not your tokens anymore. But yeah, so that was my rant on this. So I think for Hotbit, serves them right. And for Litebit, it's a little bit of a shame. What Litebit did was a Dutch exchange. They are transferring all the people that want to onto Bitfavo, which is also highly regulated and in a way acknowledged by the Dutch central bank. Litebit was also above par, but they just recognized that they cannot compete with the bigger boys anymore. It's a little bit similar to this story, and I understand, right? That's the reason why we get all the regulatory needs. You cannot have USB regular thumb drives with people's accounts laying on a desk. Not saying Litebit did that or Hotbit, whatever, I don't know. But you need to have procedures, 4i procedures, 6i procedures. You need to have vaults, cold wallets, hot wallets. You need to run an administration. This will take people. This will take time. You cannot trade on your own fucking exchange against your own users. All those things are pretty common practice in Europe. But there's a lot of extra things going to be added to the pie with MiCA being introduced. And then there is the Basel thing that's coming up, which will also make it a lot less attractive for big businesses.
The Basel thing?
Yeah. We talked about this, the 1,250% assets.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You actually remember that?
Yeah.
I do not.
There's a ton of those things coming up to disincentivize big companies, banks, exchanges, and I would not be surprised if exchanges need to get a banking license in a way to disincentivize them from using people's funds or gambling with crypto and just backing up their questionable bets with their own shit coins. There's a lot of regulation coming, and the first ones are tapping out. I saw Litebit. There was another one today that also was like, "Hey, fuck this shit, I'm gone," and I think that's great.
Yeah, it definitely is. And well, the exchange gravy train is
you
coming to an end.
Predicted it in 2020, right?
And it was kind of obvious, let's be honest. We saw it with Galileo, for example. Like, what did some exchanges ask our friends? A couple million to list Galileo there?
Binance is just a clean $1.5 million and 10% of your supply, kind of like that, something like that. And I mean, but that's pretty common. I mean, the prices go kind of down from there. But there are also exchanges like Coinbase and Bitfavo. You cannot buy a listing. You can send them an email and they'll just tell you, we don't care. We just don't care. If we think you're suitable, we'll pick you. And that's that. And I think Kraken does the same. But yeah, it all comes down to where is your company registered?
Yeah.
Which laws do you have to abide by? And this is me being the broken record. Seychelles, Cayman Islands, Singapore, all those types of spots. If your exchange is there, get the fuck out. Just get out. Get your stuff and move to a European or a US exchange with a decent license. Because in Europe, it is already common practice to have the funds separated from the business. So if you have a limited company, then you have a separate foundation, and foundation is holding all the users' funds. So these things are inaccessible to the exchange. It's not an exchange balance sheet. It's not. So they cannot gamble with it. They cannot fuck around with it. And if it disincentivizes them from doing risky stuff, also limits your risks. It incentivizes the exchange to have more healthy practices.
Yeah. But yeah,
less profitable in the short term, right? Less profitable in the short term. I mean, everybody's always joking about the volumes of CoinMetro and LCX, and I mean, Bitfavo is doing well. But yeah, if you can't wash trade, if you cannot trade against your own users, yeah, then it's a little bit more difficult. If you cannot list every fucking shitcoin under the sun without a proven track record, yeah, it is more difficult to get the volumes you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't get the new people in that are looking for the next 100,000x token, yeah, how are you going to get new customers? That needs to be organic growth and not hype-induced, manipulated, inflated user numbers.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking it's kind of a different question and not necessarily about these exchanges, but I found exchanges interesting regardless. Like with banks, you have a couple of banks that are kind of dominant globally. And the same goes for crypto exchanges to a certain extent, right? We all have Binance, Coinbase, Kraken. And crypto.com, I guess, might also be a significant player.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning, like, in the end, only a few of them will survive. So
yeah,
I'm really curious. And sure, I mean, also like with banks, you sure have these smaller banks, right? I think only in the US alone you have 400 or 500 regional banks, and also here in the Netherlands you have multiple ones, although some fall all under the same parent company. I'm just questioning which one. Obviously, the ones which are most regulated will survive, but that will be a really interesting showcase to see if, like, the European-based exchanges will become dominant globally because they are best regulated for sure.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you see some of the biggest exchanges in the world are still American, right? They're still all active or operating, at least from states which are kind of progressive towards cryptocurrencies. But I'm really questioning whether they will move their headquarters or at least their operations to Europe as soon as MiCA and all the other stuff kicks in, because it's, well, much more regulated. That's kind of this interest that I have. I'm not sure if I will get the answer quickly, but really curious to see how that plays out in the long run.
Yeah, I think the answer is partly here, right? If you look here, top currency spot exchanges. This is a list by CoinMarketCap, which is owned by Binance, I think. So take this with a grain of salt. This was just the first hit on Google. But we're looking at trading volumes 24 hours. And apparently Binance does 6 billion, 6.7 billion. Coinbase does 800 million. Kraken, 460 million. KuCoin, 440 million. Bybit, 580 million. Then we get Bitstamp, 170 million. Why is this? And OKX, 627 million.
Then it starts dropping fast.
Yeah, Gemini, 18 million. Yeah, it's not in order, which is really odd. But there's apparently a lot of there's a lot of difference between all the exchanges. I'm curious, why isn't this? Let's do it like this. Yeah, so Hotcoin Global. Yeah, but it has a trust score that's really low. Binance trust score is 9.9. And Hotcoin Global has almost 2 billion, but a trust score of 5.7. This is interesting. And Coinbase,
it's funny that we rate exchanges by trust scores, but even the indexes don't trust these exchanges.
Yeah, no.
Imagine people putting their money here.
It's crazy. Looking at weekly visits, you see Binance with 12 million, Digifinex with 4.4, Gate.io 3 million, Bybit 3 million. Where's Coinbase? Was it up there? Did I miss it?
No, it's not up there.
Kraken 900,000. Why is Coinbase not on this list? Weekly visit 32,000.
What?
That's fucking bullshit. That's no way in hell.
And Coinbase has only 32,000 visits a week.
This is not representative of. This is weird, right?
No, that is impossible.
They are the biggest competitors of each other, so maybe Binance is like, fuck you guys. I wouldn't put it past them, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe they don't give an overview of their visits.
Yeah, but just looking at this, right? Looking at the rank, there's 224 exchanges. Bit4U has a trust score of 0.1. Lol. But these are candidates, prime candidates that for survival, maybe like the top 3, top 4, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin. I don't know. KuCoin is also
shady as fuck.
Same as Bitrue on my list of not to be used.
Oh, Bitrue. If you want to get scammed, go to Bitrue. They'll give you a masterclass. I think Crypto.com will also be kind of one of the candidates to survive. And there will be some other smaller companies, but we'll see. We'll see. And
yeah,
it's a nice sideshow that I'm kind of interested in crypto.
Yeah, the tree will keep shaking.
Hey, but we are on Coingecko anyway, so why don't we look into price action? Or do you have something else scheduled first?
Yeah, I had a bunch of things, but that doesn't matter. We'll just move to the Coingecko.
Yeah, we were on Coingecko already, so I figure we might look on Coingecko.
No, we were on CMC. We were on CoinMarketCap, not Coingecko.
It's okay.
Blue versus green, dude. What,
yeah,
are you on an Apple laptop or something?
I am. Well, personally, I use Coinbase, but that is only I mean, I'm using CoinMarketCap, but the only reason why I'm using it is because I started using it, and it is all my historical data. So I don't think I should switch between apps.
See, that's how they lock you in.
Yeah, but it kind of shows my data, and then I know, oh yeah, that's how far I'm down on certain coins, and then I cry in a corner.
So numbers are on Burger tokens, aka USD. Oh yeah, that was probably part of why markets are rallying. It's because there's rumors, I don't know if it's confirmed yet, that the debt ceiling gets raised. Who would have thought? Yeah, debt ceiling US 31 trillion. Yeah. The US is technically bankrupt, so the world is technically bankrupt because the entire world is owed money from the US. US is lending from everybody and not paying them back. Like, fuck that. So they just raised the debt ceiling that they created for themselves once again. Allegedly, I'm not sure, this is not confirmed yet, as far as I know. And that is apparently bullish.
Yeah.
So the US can rack up more debt, and that means that their credit rating will fall further. And if the credit rating falls further, it means that every loan that they get costs them more in interest because they are less trustworthy. So they need something to compensate. And that means that more tax money will go to paying off interest instead of improving infrastructure and all those other unnecessary things. Until they decide that, okay, we just need to default on everything, which is inevitable, or they need to wipe the slate clean. But that then needs to occur globally. So if the US gets wiped 31 trillion, then we need to see how how much percent of GDP, I don't know, and Europe the same, because everybody needs to get their loans cut equally. I think we'll see. It's going to be a shit show, and they call it the Great Reset.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been hearing this since decades, right? This is one of those things. Like, everyone warns for the end of the world, and there are some sincere scenarios.
Oh no, the world will not end.
The world ends in a couple billion years.
Yes, undoubtedly.
But this is one of the scenarios where I'm like, yeah, but like if this scenario happens, then they will some kind of deal will be negotiated, because if that happens, then everyone gets affected.
Yeah, 100%. But the other problem is Europe is in debt massively as well. The same goes for South America, and there's very few countries that are not in debt with other countries. Right? So my thought as a farmer here is why not just cut everybody's debt with the same percentage?
Yeah.
And maybe that will clean things up a bit, right? Like, okay, I owe you 300, you owe me 500, but you earn like way more than I, so let's cut you less and me more, and then everybody is happy and we can shake each other's hand, and then just do it all over again, but this time with digital money.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an economist. I don't try to be one.
No, let's not go there. So
I'm just a crypto schnitzel watching charts.
Just crypto schnitzel. If we look at Burger token price, 27.8K for Bitcoin, 1.9K US dollars for ETH, and XRP
52 cents. Nice, they crossed the 50-cent mark.
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, Cardano is almost 40 cents. Wow.
Yeah.
Still in place 7. They are doing well. Where's Doge?
Doge is almost 8 cents. No, 7. Oh, 7 cents.
It's amazing that Doge is still like a solid top 10 pick.
Yeah, but that is because it is sorted by market cap, and they print like 100 gazillion of those motherfuckers every day. So even if the price drops 20%, they just mine 20%, and the market cap stays exactly the same. That's how this works, right? That's how this works. We're talking market cap. And market cap is just the amount of tokens multiplied by price. So if the price drops 10% and you print 10% more tokens, then the price of the market cap doesn't move, because you just add more tokens of the same value out of thin fucking air. That's why it's so hilarious. Here. It's whatever.
Well, mind cannot comprehend Dutch. Okay. What
is...
Oh, we
35.
Remember the days when 35 was near all-time high territory?
24. We were.
I think the highest we ever got was like 27 or something.
I thought it was 20. And I don't know, Quant Pop, I thought 23 to 25. So I think that's the range. I would not even know where to find it. But if we look in euros, Bitcoin is 26K, ETH is almost 1.8. XRP is comfy below 50 cents again. Fuck you. And no, joking. Be friends, not the same thing. Still. Quant 107. Looking at the chart for the 7 days, we went from 95 down to 90, up to 106. Looking 2 weeks ago when we were also here, we were at that 95 mark. We were ranging there. Apparently we broke out. Looking at 30 days, we are past where we were 30 days ago, which is nice. And looking at the 90 days, this is a very nice whoosh. Don't you think?
Upwards. Yeah, it's a nice upwards movement. I'm getting FOMO. So we'll probably drop tomorrow.
Yeah, and the volume's also there, right? It's 30 million right now.
Yeah.
And so that's like triple what it was 3 days ago.
Yeah, last week, I think. Last week we were at around 10 million.
A week ago we were also at 10, yeah. So that's a 3x in volume. It's for our standards pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how it works with you, but I'm getting this FOMO OCD, if that makes any sense. I want to get it back to like a nice round number.
Oh yeah. Like 15K or something.
Yeah, it's like now it's 14 something.
Yeah.
No, but I have this FOMO where I need to have a perfect round number because it keeps me sane, and now it's not a perfect round number. So that happens every now and then. So when I sell, so when I sell, I need to have
sensible.
Kind of. No, I just needed to have it at a perfect round number, and it's not perfectly round at the moment. So I need to start buying. Yeah, that's just how my brain works. It's never enough, you know. It's yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so about the rankings, if you have a shitcoin and your price drops and you just print more tokens, then the market cap can stay the same.
Why doesn't Gilbert do that? That would be brilliant. They would earn a lot.
Because then we'd be bitching and complaining, Gilbert is minting new tokens.
Yeah, but then the price would be the price will just stay the same.
Yeah, you're just inflating your supply.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is interesting. Anyway, so yeah, where will we go? I don't know. Chainlink.
Oh dear, we are. Oh, Chainlink, yeah.
Chainlink is at position 21 now.
Okay, good for now.
But their token price is 6.18. So isn't that lower than where it was like a while ago?
No, it's just been ranging, I guess.
What are they supply? 1 billion and 50% circulating.
They still need the other. That's hilarious.
And their volume is steady as well. Over 100 million. Oh. Yeah, you were looking at the time probably.
Yeah, because we are we are halfway through content-wise, but we're not whole. I mean, we could go for the 2-hour episode.
How long are we in?
We are 1 hour in. 1 hour and 2 minutes.
So, we're moving on to the future of finance.
Yes. And this is interesting because I saw Jarno posting something on Telegram, and it was like this request, hey, does someone know how to download the YouTube video? Because they might take this down. And yeah, we are 5-6 days later, and it's not been taken down yet. Which is odd.
Yeah, which is nice. I didn't watch it yet when I posted that. Quant Papa sent this to me. He's like, okay, just watch this fast because they pulled it down once and they might pull it down again. Hence me asking in one of the groups, can somebody please download this? I don't have YouTube Premium, so I cannot download. It's just, I don't know how to do that. But this is cool. Gilbert was at the Future of Finance. You have audio? And they spoke about stablecoins. Gilbert Verdian, CEO at Quant.
Hello, I'm Dominic Hobson, co-founder of Future of Finance. My guest today is Gilbert Verdian, CEO at Quant, which is dedicated to making blockchain work for banks, asset managers, insurers, and technology vendors, chiefly by ensuring that blockchain protocols and traditional systems can interoperate successfully. Our topic today is an innovation that lies at the heart of that growing convergence between blockchain-based and traditional finance, namely stablecoins. Gilbert, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so the link to this is in the description. I recommend watching this video and this interview. I think
it's 44 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 44 minutes long, but the TLDR is stablecoins are not suitable for banks. Stablecoins are not stable, and every bank and every company will just create their own coin token for their in-house operations, and then we will have CBDCs that will used for the settlement, etc. Tim?
Do Quant disagrees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's always an idiot in the comments. Who verifies that the job was done too? Standard, and who pays this party? Yeah, that's how can we check on the banks if they are honest? Stuff like that. I think
they aren't.
I think it's funny.
That's what he can say for the government every now and then.
No, but this was another nice interview. Gave a lot of insights. One of the things that because they obviously talked about CBDCs and such.
But neither are your crypto companies. They aren't honest either. That's just the world of finance. Nobody is honest. That's just how the world works.
Yeah. But they spoke about the complexity of the current cash, obviously. Problem is, right now everything is IOUs. Money is not programmable, so it takes a lot of operations to pay with your phone. It takes a lot of IOUs. It takes a lot of
IOUs?
Yeah. If you pay with your phone, then money does not transfer instantly from one to another. If I transfer money to you, e-money, it's not money going from me to you. It's just a number, right? And because we are in the fortunate situation that we can all quote unquote trust each other to be good for it, I can just now send you 10 euros, and I will not send you 10 euros, but you will receive quote unquote 10 euros, and you can pay with 10 euros instantly. And the store that you spend your 10 euros can then also spend that. Well, what actually happens on the back end is nothing. No money gets carried from one place to another. No gold gets transferred. It's just numbers. And that's what Gilbert means with just paying the way we do right now is really complicated, because it's like using Post-its and putting it in the mail. Tim, I'm giving you 10 euros, and then Tim is sending that to Albert Heijn or Costco. I'm giving you 10 euros, but the 10 euros was officially from Jarno, and then Costco is paying their wholesaler. Like, yeah, I got this 10 euros from Jarno, but he gave it to Tim, and then Tim gave it to us. So we are now paying you for this, etc. And that's how it goes. And that's just really cumbersome for the system. And it doesn't really work. So, and that's what, when you talk about the programmability, you can have money with smart contracts and such that just execute real time, and that the real money is still not real money, but mosquito. But it actually gets transferred and it gets updated in real time across the board. And it's a little bit more complex than what I explained right now, because I don't fully comprehend it. This is just
is mind-boggling, right? So we're sending virtual stuff right now in the form of like, it is virtual, but it's actually virtual. Like, it relies on trust, and we are replacing it with something that is also virtual, but also measurable at the same time, because it's not based on trust, it's based on a smart contract, or at least some kind of mechanism that enforces the fact that it is actually real. Yeah. Okay, I'm too dumb for this stuff. Yeah. It's like an onion, right? I mean, the outer layer is pretty clear. I'm paying you an onion, but on the inside, there's so much more going on. And that complexity, that's also a problem in the stock market right now, because every share or stock you own is also owned allegedly by 13 other people.
through IOUs and stuff like that. So if everybody would say, okay, I want my stock right now, you can get them, right? You can get your stocks on paper in bearer things. Then the entire market would implode because of all the derivatives. And because of everything is loaned out to everybody. There's so many IOUs. That's also a reason why we need to, one, get everything tokenized and digitized. But that's also a reason why a lot of people are holding off. Because out of the 13 people in some way, shape, or form that can lay claim to a specific asset, only one can get it. Only one person can get it. And that means that 12 people will lose. So that puts a giant fucking time bomb under just about everything. and it goes on and on. We created quite a shit show for ourselves. At the banks, it's literally like this on the back end. It's all just posted. These are just built for the Elder Scrolls Online, but banks are just are doing it like this, yeah. And they're trying to optimize and modernize. But yeah, I'm digressing
like
again.
The Quamfy Show.
Yeah, I digress again. But yeah, now this stablecoins, programmable money, stablecoins will not be used. Yeah, if people think that settlement will happen with Tether or USDC, the way it stands right now, it's not going to happen. Not me saying them saying that. Watch the video. But right now, the stability of the quote unquote stable coins is laughable to them, to the bankers, which is also laughable because if you look at the stability for the US dollar versus the euro versus the yuan versus the yen versus the Swiss franc and the pound, they're just as unstable. Well, they are backed by the military. There's a country behind it. So there's that, and that might change as well. But for now, it does not.
Okay.
Yeah, we're skipping Samsung. I'll put it in the description. Samsung, Knox, secure element. Think Ledger. Ledger also has a secure element. Think Overledger on a chip. Think this has an Overledger chip. This has an Overledger chip. And it creates its own blockchain of security. It's called a matrix. And with that, everything is safer, better, and more secure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say it's using Overledger, right? Doesn't say that. But we know Gilbert was in Korea multiple times. And we know Samsung and Quant are most likely friends. Yeah, well, do your own research. Then we're going to Gilbert and Polkadot because this is interesting. Why? Because we can then use the dot hashtag and get a lot of views. If you're here from dot, thank you. We appreciate it. We are all about the transparency. Gilbert Verdian, security. Security is very important to us at Quant Network. By working together, we can help secure the blockchain ecosystem. Read more about how our R&D team identified the security signing bug in Polkadot, helped to patch it by upgrading the libraries to be SECP 256K1 compatible. And then there's the link to the blog things. So what was up? If we go to the Quant developers Twitter, link in the description. It reads, good morning and welcome to another week of improving blockchain for everyone. Get ready for a tech talk with our head of innovation on transaction signing. Here goes the thread. The thread, should I read it or no, go read it first?
Yeah, we might as well read it.
We recently asked Dr. Luke Riley about the work our R&D team is doing to detect risks and ultimately improve blockchain for all users. Quote, when connecting to blockchain systems, a key component in the security of the private keys used to sign transactions. We have been working on a project to perform the same integration for substrate networks, such as Polkadot. This integration did not run as expected. While investigating why, we uncovered a bug related to blockchain accounts in Polkadot.js. This was pointed out to Polkadot.js engineers, who promptly released a patch to upgrade their libraries to be SECP 256K1 compatible for this function now. Read in full here and learn how we uncovered the issue. Let us know what kind of content you want to see more of. Okay. So that was the tweet thread. Polkadot had a bug. Quant found it. Polkadot fixed it. Quant tweeted it, and I think that was with mutual consent, them being tagged. Not sure if they responded. That'd be interesting. But yeah, the competition side of things, Quant is literally positioning itself as like the watchdog, the guard dog of the space, and doing their best to be the leading authority on blockchain. And these type of things I think are important, right? Help each other out. In the end, Quant can only, well, not really, but will flourish more if there's more blockchains to connect, right? Because the more blockchains are safe and the more blockchains that can be used, the more choice a client has. And if Quant offers interoperability to a certain protocol, then that protocol needs to be airtight. There cannot be any bugs or problems.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly here.
Yeah.
Or did Buzz find the issue and email, or did Quanterscan find the issue, then email Quant and Quant to call credit? That would be kind of a cliffhanger. Or...
Stay tuned. I don't know. Maybe we can get Buzz on the show again. But yeah, no, this is cool. And then we're looking at the article on their website. A link is in the description. And here is the very handsome Dr. Luke Riley. It is important to choose experts to work on global systems to ensure that issues are solved before they represent a risk. My English accent is terrible today, guys. I'm so very sorry. And so here's like the more technical breakdown. Well, what is also interesting is they said something about AWS because
they did.
AWS is no longer a Quant partner. Well, I'm trying to find it by really quick reading.
I mean,
somebody highlighted it. The account showed.
Let me look it up. Oh yeah, it's definitely in that article, but I'm not sure where.
Many traditional cloud services are run on AWS, and as an AWS partner, we can assist companies in connecting their AWS cloud services to blockchain. Okay. Quant would not ever call AWS a partner if they are not partners. Quant has given companies a lot of flack and a lot of shit for unduly calling them partners. And they would not make the mistake themselves. Many traditional cloud services are run on AWS. And as an AWS partner, we can assist companies in connecting their AWS cloud services. Tim, what's your side note?
I don't really have a side note here. I just wanted to say, but hey, they aren't on the website anymore, right? So what?
Yeah.
It's either with AWS
where's logo? Where's logo? I don't see logo.
But that doesn't rhyme with everything else we got from AWS. So
Oh.
We'll see.
So this is cool. Check out the article if you want the filthy fucking details. It is there. Okay. Really quickly. We have Raoul Pal. Yeah. He posted an article on LinkedIn. And I know a lot of you guys think he's a clown because he made the call for being irresponsibly long on Ethereum right before it tanked. Do not judge people by
Based on one trade.
by one call, right? Or by a couple of trades. I think this man has a pretty good track record, and he has a lot of people paying him and his company a lot of money every month to get their research and get their opinion and vision on things with real vision. So this man is well respected. He's an authority, and yes, he was wrong. We are an authority as well. We are wrong all the fucking time. But this article reads, this supermassive black hole that eats all other assets. It's published on May 29, 2023. And he has used this term, the supermassive black hole, a lot of times, many times to describe crypto. And he has some interesting charts here that I'm not going to pretend to understand in depth, but read this article. He says the total crypto market cap should hit at least 10 trillion during the next cycle, and it could end up going much, much further than that. And he posts a log chart here with the descending triangle, if I have my TA lines correctly. And you can see we were at the bottom. We just broke out of this. He's speaking about the global liquidity index and how that correlates with ETH, with Bitcoin, with Solana. And then he speaks about ETH, how it can rip a lot higher than it is right now versus BTC at least. Yeah, Solana, I don't know what their stick is with that, but it's wildly bullish according to him. His feelings are very likely that we are very likely close to a face-ripping rally in crypto before things calm down for a bit. Remember that May and June are historically the strongest month in the first year of a bull market. However, next year and 2025 will be the big ones. It's unclear whether we have a few more weeks of consolidation before that bigger rally, or we go straight from here. What is clear is that it is coming to the moon and beyond. Co-authored with leading research firm MI2 partners Julian Bittel and Raoul Pal. I think this is cool. I think it's nice to see a lot of lines where things are on top of it. And I think the language is strong. I think there's a lot of confidence in this. And I think they're not idiots. Will it happen? Eventually, 100%. Will it be within the time frame that they set? I don't know. Do I care? Ish. See, if you're looking to buy, I think a lot of people would consider this then a bottom. Maybe people want to see a test of sorts, whatever. If you want to buy Quant, everything below 1K, in my opinion, is just criminal. But yeah, we'll see. No financial advice here. Do your own research, read the articles, and
but yeah, I mean,
create your own truth. Yeah.
So his thesis is that crypto will kind of suck liquidity out of the market and pump it into crypto.
Yeah, he's of the opinion that there is no other asset right now that has the same potential as crypto.
That's true. But
Nothing is as interesting and yeah.
I would need to read this article. You just kind of surprised me with it.
Of course.
Does that mean it will come at the cost of these other markets, or that will, because that is kind of what he says, right?
No, I don't know, but what he I mean, there's always money that gets freed up to invest.
Yeah.
And yes, you cannot put money in two places at the same time.
You can with IOUs. You
can with IOUs. Yeah. No, but he suggests that a lot of the liquidity will go to crypto.
Okay.
And not to other assets.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's implied.
In all fairness, I need to read this. It's kind of interesting. I didn't pay a lot of attention. My attention span is waning at the end of that episode. But and sure, always when I see these kind of
here. Having spent the last 3+ decades of my life in the world of macro, I continue to insist that everything remains a sideshow versus crypto.
Yeah.
And the last thing, Tokenicer. Tokenicer did a new update on Coinbase transactions. Up till now, we saw large wallets that interacted with Coinbase, wallets 2 and 10, only hodl their QNT tokens. Until I discovered these, one can only imagine what's going on behind the curtain. It's a 3-minute video.
All right, so here's a little update on the QNT transaction video.
We're not going to watch this right now for the sake of time. You can find it at Tokenicer, so Tokenicer, like ice, or you can look him up in the description or go through the Quamfy Show, Twitter, whatever.
Sorry, I have my voice on mute. But why not, actually? I mean, it's just a 2-minute video.
You want to watch it? Okay.
As we've been covering these wallets, we know 3 things. Many of these wallets have the exact matching amounts in there sent by Coinbase 10 or Coinbase 2. Next, these wallets are usually considered to be institutions, as the amounts of these are often well over the 7-figure value range. And 3, they only ever hold QNT and nothing else, not even some ETH. Well, today I found a little more insights on these wallets. We've already previously covered some of the QNT batch transactions that Coinbase Wallet 10 sends out, which is a smart contract wallet. Where within these transactions, there's usually some retail transactions bunched in there of random ERC20 tokens, whether it be things like USDT, USDC, Aave, Uniswap, or whatever. And then the rest of these transactions are, of course, these high value QNT transfers. Needless to say, it's quite strange. Well, in a recent coverage of these transactions, I showed you guys how there were various transactions of 12,844 QNT, which got sent to these wallets, all with 51.3k QNT in them now. Well, there's actually another batch of 12,844 QNT transactions that got sent out just 14 minutes before the one I previously covered. When we go to these specific wallets that they got transferred to, we can see that they all got one of these 12,844 QNT transactions. But unlike those other ones we saw, these guys actually sent their QNT to another wallet. And here's when things start to get really weird. So it's already a little different that they're actually moving the QNT, right? The ones we previously tracked, they just held their QNT with no ETH or anything else in there. But when we look to where they move the QNT to, they actually all send these to different wallets, but they all do so in a very similar time frame. Pretty much all of these wallets were sent to their respective different wallets within March. It's almost like there was a specific purpose for those tokens in that time frame. And then when we look to what these specific wallets that got the secondary transfer did, every single one of these sent it right back to Coinbase 10, which was the smart contract wallet that initially executed these batch transactions for these QNT to be sent out in the first place. So it really makes you think, what could these tokens have possibly been used for in that 2.5 month-ish time frame? But that's about all I'll spoil for you guys now.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I don't hear you. Oh, that could be me.
No, it's me. Yeah, so we got demonetized because of the X-Files team, which is pretty annoying, but it is what it is. Not making any money here anyway. Are you still watching? Thank you. Give us a like and a subscribe. So Coinbase, right? Coinbase Custody, we suspect, is doing the administration for Quant. I'll post a video with Hungarian Horntail explaining why. Why doesn't Quant do this for themselves? Let's start with this, right? So everybody's talking about accountability and honesty, etc. What does Quant do? Quant is an interoperability software as a service provider. They are not bookkeepers. They provide services that are software related. They do not want to mess around with post-its, wallets, cold wallets, hot wallets. They do not want to make mistakes. Simple as that. They don't want the liability, the accountability. And what better way is there than to use a company like Coinbase with a banking license to keep you, one, honest, two, do everything for you, right? And three, make sure that everything goes without a hitch. It frees up so much time, frees up so much money, frees up personnel, and it is a third party. So whenever a company buys a license, Quant sends fiat there. Coinbase Custody, this is all hypothetical, right? Coinbase Custody does all their bookkeeping. They buy the QNT tokens. They lock them in a wallet for the duration of a year. Gilbert cannot touch them for the year because that is what is agreed upon. It's in the white paper. And then every time a license expires, they're like, yeah, what's up, G? Yeah, we got some tokens for you. And then Gilbert can decide what to do with that. Either they are being reallocated, which could possibly be what Tokenicer is talking about, right? So there's tokens in wallets. The license expires, somebody renews, those tokens get freed up. The tokens can then be recirculated into the system and be used for new licenses. And then Gilbert just puts the fiat in his pocket. Or they buy additional tokens and lock those additional tokens, etc. So this makes perfect sense from a business perspective. You're not going to do all that bullshit yourself. If you're into making shoes, you want to be making shoes. You want to put your efforts there and not in other things. So that could be what is going on. There are a lot of wallets in the top 1,000 that have similar numbers up to the 18th decimal and oftentimes created within a minute. And it is not humanly possible to do that with that accuracy that quickly every single time. The only way to do that is with a smart contract. And that is possible, but not from Coinbase if you're not with Coinbase. So there's something going on there, which is interesting. Could be renewal of licenses, could be other things. We don't know. Give Tokenicer some love for this. Give him a follow for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a comment if you have a question. Keep it respectful because I know that some of you guys are dicks. Ask healthy questions. You can ask us as well. We'll do our best to answer what we can. Yeah.
No, the reason why I insisted to watch this video is because what kind of this wallet activity kind of fascinates me. It is the most tangible thing that we have that we can monitor constantly. Because everything that happens on Ethereum is open for the public. I mean, it comes down to perception and how we see it and interpret it.
Yeah, it is tangible for sure. It's verifiable.
I deeply admire all the people looking at it constantly. So that's the reason why I wanted to give some attention to it.
Yeah, that was a good shot. It was a good shot.
And it's just another layer of the onion in terms of, in terms of FA, and well done. Okay, I am toast.
Same here.
Toast. It wasn't my best episode ever. It's just one of the many episodes that we did. I didn't contribute a lot in terms of talking.
Oh, you did, dude, in the beginning. That was cool. Yeah.
I did in the beginning, and then I slowly started fading out. That wasn't on purpose. It's just,
it's age, dude.
It's not necessarily age. It's just people shouting at me through a phone today on my work. No, not necessarily. It was just, it's been a long day. I've seen a lot of, just had a long weekend. Yeah. But hey, we did it, and once again, we talked about a lot of stuff. We gave some new coverage. I thought we didn't have anything new, but we did. I don't know how we pull it off, but we do. We talked about NEXI. We talked about the interview Gilbert did, which is a 45-minute, 3/4 of content. 3/4 of an hour of content. But I haven't analyzed yet. I still need to watch it. We covered a bit of wallet activity. We talked about Samsung. We talked about Polkadot. There was so much in this brief little episode. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. We have more stuff. We will see where the price is going. We will see whether we will pump higher on this Ichimoku cloud or whatever it is.
Throw in the comments your price prediction for over 2 weeks. And what do you guys think will be the next confirmation? What will be the next big confirmation when it comes to Quant? So, and no, I'm not going to prime you guys. Just a bit. Would it be a bank? Would it be a big institution? Would it be a government, maybe? Or gateway? Maybe? What do you think? Let us know. Make sure that you subscribe, because otherwise you will not know when there is a next video. Yes, you do, because it's every Thursday, 6 o'clock European time.
Yeah.
Every second Thursday of the month is in English. So that's the even weeks, right? Even.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
because we started that in Dutch.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Follow us on all our different thingy-madoos. You can find it in the banner. We have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, we have a podcast. We are also on YouTube podcast right now. So if you're following there, thank you so much. 2 weeks. We'll see you again. In the meantime,
stay Quamfy.
Stay Quamfy.